This is Akiko from Global Startup Center, and we have Mumu, the director of Global Startup Center, and Yoshi and Ko. So before we start the meeting, I would like to ask one thing. Please keep your microphone mute and turn off the video during the event. And this is today's rundown. So after the introduction of Startup Visa, will welcome panelists and they will tell us about their business project here in Fukuoka. After that, the main session, the real talk follows. The panelists will be talking about the questions we got from audience members. At the end of this event, each of the panelists will give you some tips for starting your business in Fukuoka. If you have any questions, please write them down in the comment or chat box. We'll answer them if time allows. We already posted the link of, we will post the link for the startup visa and general information of the course in Fukuoka and questionnaire in comment box later. Please feel free to refer to those information. So let's start with the first program. Introduction of Global Startup Center and the Startup Visa. So Fukuoka City Global Startup Center is run by the Fukuoka City government, and we are the contact window and executive unit for foreign startups and entrepreneurs. Our motto is a part of your team. Once you contact us, we are the first member in Japan. We work with you, we execute projects together. Even more, we sometimes do tasks on behalf of you. Fukuoka City has 15 partner institutions in 11 countries. We signed MOU to provide mutual support for startups in the regions. These are the services we provide. Our services are very wide range and available at any stage of your business. I will explain about startup visa deeply later. So let me explain about our business matching. What I like to emphasize here in our business matching is that we have strong connection with not only startups, but also big companies. Moreover, we have good relationship with the local government and public organizations as well. So we can arrange very specific business matching, not just introducing each other. And this business matching service is available for any startups. That means even if you're not based here in Fukuoka, or without having a company here in Japan, moreover, without coming to Japan, we are happy to offer our networks for you to find your potential partners. So generally speaking, when you live in Japan doing business, you need to have a business manager visa, and there are some requirements. For example, you need to establish a company with more than 5 million yen of investment capital and secure an office for a company. However, it's difficult to fulfill requirements from outside of Japan. Startup visa is a 6 months to 1 year residence permit to settle down to prepare such condition. And to make sure whether or not that Fukuoka is the right place to start your business before you invest. Startup visa will be issued once Fukuoka City approves your business plan as an innovative business and confirm that you are capable to implement the plan to fulfill the requirements of the business manager visa within the period of startup visa. After the startup visa expires, most of the entrepreneurs convert them to business manager visa. So this is the application procedures. Global Startup Center is a contact window for the startup visa application. At first, we check your the business plan together in case you are not sure how to fill it out. Don't worry, just send us the tentative one and we look into the plan and we help you to brush it up together. We also check your financial statement with the bank balance in your country to confirm that you are capable to implement the project with your own capital. Some people are looking for investment when they apply for the startup visa. However, it's almost a miracle to get investment in such a short period for new foreign startup. So we cannot accept such a kind of business plan, which depends on the investment or loans at the very beginning of the project. Once all the required documents are ready, we submit them to the city government and you get the result in 2 to 4 weeks. After you approve, you need to obtain COE, Certificate of Eligibility. And all these procedures we of course support. It will take about a month to get the COE. With the COE and some other documents that city government provides, you need to go to an embassy to get a visa in your country. It's because of the COVID. Usually, the applicant used to apply for the visa after you come to Fukuoka. Anyway, in the meantime, new entries of foreign nationals are limited. So we cannot mention how long it would take to get a visa or when we'll be able to enter to Japan. So let me briefly explain about the general procedures and the ideal schedule to getting the business manager visa within 6 months. The first month, you need to get registered as a resident in Fukuoka City, make your own sale hanko and register your address and your sale at the ward office. And you need to open your private bank account. Global Startup Center contacts bank in advance to make an appointment, and we accompany with you if it's needed. So you'll be able to open it without any problems. Once you get your bank account, you can register your company with a private bank account. So we connect you to an English-speaking incorporation lawyer timely. After your company is established, we arrange an appointment with the bank to open your corporate bank account. It's being said that it's getting more and more difficult to open a corporate bank account. However, thanks to our good relationship with the banks, we haven't had any problems of opening the corporate bank account of startup visa holders. Then you can start to prepare the visa renewal in the 5th month. If you need any support to brush up your business plan, we're happy to help you before submitting it to the immigration. So we have a meeting every month while you're having the startup visa. So if you have any problems, just let us know. We are always here for you to support and solve the problem together. So these are the general information. So I got some question from the audience member in other rooms. Let me ask some question to Yoshi. So the first question, are you guys operating during the COVID-19 situation?
Yes, we are still in operation, even though the COVID-19 situations. So we are cooperating with the Fukuoka City government for the startups to enter the Japan by following the formal procedures. So which the immigration office is legislated. Yeah.
So this is the next question.
Yep.
This is also many people are asking, like some information there. They say they need to hire 2 people to get a business manager visa.
Okay.
Is it necessary or?
Yeah. Many people asking these questions. Actually, the answer is no. The startup companies does not need to hire the 2 employees, but the startup company needs to have the enough funds to operate the companies. So at least the company have to have the more than 5 million yen. This is the key factors, the important point.
Okay. So, and also, how is the tax and accounting support once operating?
So now that we are connecting the tax accounting firm, and also we are connecting with the law firm as well. Yep.
Okay, that's great. And the next question is, how long does it take to start business in Fukuoka?
How long?
I think it depends on the
it depends on the companies which face the situations, but at earliest it takes maybe around 2 or 3 months. They can establish a company and they can also have the corporate bank. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so because of the time, we need to move on to the next program. But if you have any further questions, please feel free to comment on questionnaire and we can answer you via email. Okay, so as for the now, I'll be happy to welcome today's guest speakers, Kelvin from Lee, and Richard from Smarty, Tania from Japan, Daniel from Mango Project, Tin and Jack. Tin is actually in the process of the incorporation, and Jack is actually in China waiting for the entry to Japan. So would you turn on the video, please? Thank you. And of course, please turn off the mute as well. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today. Chin, you are on mute, and also Kelvin, you are on mute as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
So now we would like to start. We would like to explain your project. So, Kelvin-san, would you start to explain your business or project here in Fukuoka, please?
Yes, sure.
Maybe I to do some introductions.
Yes.
Actually, our name is We, and we are here in Fukuoka actually to do the food. We aim to do the food manufacturing business, which is using the Fukuoka local ingredients and mixed with our techniques, because we had experience on and doing the restaurant things and cooking French cuisine and also Hong Kong cuisine. So our project actually is to use the local Fukuoka ingredients into our food and produce and manufacture some products which like packaged products such as sauce or soup, and then to sell it locally or even to export to the other place. So this is the projects that we are doing. But because it's now Corona, so our first step here is we start a restaurant first, and then to build our name, and then on the one hand we can build our brand. On the other hand, we can recognize and learn more about the local flavors and also their preference, so that we can prepare our packaged food in a more correct directions. So we are in the progress of doing that, but surely under the COVID is not easy, but we are on that directions. So this is the introductions.
Okay, thank you. So next, Richardson. I think you're on mute.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Can hear.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let me share PPT. It's better to explain with the PowerPoint. Okay. This is Richard from Smarty. I'm the co-founder of this company, and I have a business partner who is Han Shuo. He was supposed to give the speech here, but he has a meeting, so I will do the introduction on behalf of our company. And as you can see from the title, it's called Smarty. Actually, we are doing something related to smart products, but actually, I think in reality, the so-called smart home products are not so smart. You have to be smart enough to use or to build up those kind of products. You have to pair with your Bluetooth, connect with your Wi-Fi, then you can use them. So it's a really complicated process. So we have a solution for that. If the products using our built-in within our chip, we have as a system on chip solution for that. If a product has the SoC chip built in with it, it will enable the product to be able to understand what the other people is saying to the product, and also who is speaking to the product, and also where the speaker is. And also there is a very easy way to communicate with the device. You can use sound waves. If you're using our application, there's no need to connect to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, because all the commands are sending with sound waves. It will be sent within a very high frequency that people cannot hear, but the products can pick up the sound. And as the sound wave is kind of a wave, so any kind of a wave can be encoded with commands. So in that high frequency command, we can control the device. So it will be really easy to use. People can use the application or just talk to the device. There's no need to connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And we also provide all kinds of consultation services. And no matter you have any ideas or problems with your hardware or software designing or end development, we can provide our consultation services. And also, if you have any brilliant ideas and you don't know how to build them, you just tell us the idea. We can outsource the whole project to us. We also do that for you. So that's basically what we do here. But it's not that straightforward. Only listen to what I'm talking about. So I prepared a short video to demonstrate our technology. Let's see. This is data over sound. You just press the button. There's no Wi-Fi. And Gwendon, please turn off. Switch off. Ohayo. Ohayo. 自己紹介して。自己紹介して。ただいま。Password confirmation. ただいま。ただいま。ただいま。Password confirmation. Okay, these are the demonstrations of the use application of our technology. Okay, that's all for our introduction. We can talk about it later. Thank you.
Thank you. So Tania, it's your turn.
Hello. Okay. I'll just share my screen as well for easier explanation. So basically, Doppan Kabushiki Gaisha brings this product, so Gengoya, to Japan. We created products for foreigners who are studying Japanese language by combining illustration and also card games. Well, not only card games, actually, we have like different type of products, like more like lifestyle products, like keychains and everything. So initially we want to expand this concept, this product that we had in Indonesia to Japan, because people from around the world, they go to Japan to travel, and then when they're in Japan, they want to try to communicate with the locals. So we are not trying to teach them the whole Japanese language, but we want to help them learn vocabularies that they can use during their trips, or probably vocabularies related to what the things that they are interested in. So this is one of the card games that we have. So basically our products, we combine offline products and also online products. So we also have the online version. So you can just scan the QR code from the cards that you have, or you can just buy the e-version and then you can quiz yourself with the vocabularies and everything else. So initially we thought of we wanted to collaborate with Nihongo Gakko, so Japanese language schools, and also recruiting companies who recruit foreigners. Well, but unfortunately, because of Corona, no one could come, and foreign students cannot come, and foreign workers are also like, very come in very limited, like, it's very limited. The border is still closed until now. So we have to admit that we kind of like struggle with this business model right now. But we try to do things that we can do when borders are still closed. So we participate in bazaars because apparently this type of product is also interesting for Japanese people, especially like instead of the cards, it's more like the stickers or like the keychains. And we also collaborate with events like shushoku events, so recruiting events, because there are many Japanese foreign students in Japan who are really interested in working in Japan. And we participate with one organization, and we use the game as icebreaker for the event. So basically that's about Gengoya. Well, within Dopang, I also, I initially wanted to focus on this project first, but due to Corona, we need to pivot in order to survive, because we also need to care about, the sustainability of the company. So I am currently also doing some other projects, such as like translation projects and things like that. So basically that's all from my side.
Thank you, Tanya. So next, Daniel, would you explain your project?
Yeah, sure. I will share video as well. Hello, I am Daniel from Mango Project. I came to Fukuoka on startup visa and later changed it to business manager visa. At Mango Project, we are developing LangUp. It's a web application for learning Japanese. I will show you how you can learn Japanese using LangUp. So one of the most efficient ways to learn any language is immersion. Immersion, so what is a language immersion? That's when you're surrounded by the language you're studying. You listen and speak to it, almost live in it. And the easiest way to immerse into language at home is videos. We collected a lot of real videos in Japanese. Each video has Japanese subtitles, and no matter what is your interest or skill level, we have suitable videos for you. So you can watch fun videos and learn Japanese. Sounds good, but what if you don't understand some word? Actually, you can click on any word and instantly see definition. Click on definition to add the word to your list. And by adding words to your list, you can study them later. So you watched some videos and edit new words from these videos, but you will forget new words if you wouldn't study them. Our learning engine takes into account the complexity of the words and calculates optimal training schedule, so you can memorize new words and kanji efficiently. So if you want to try it by yourself, you can go to langup.net, or you can scan this QR code. If you have any questions, you can contact me via site by any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so next, Chin, would you explain about the project you're planning to do here in Fukuoka?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I don't have a presentation right now, so I will explain shortly. Before moving to Fukuoka in this February, I had been working as a project manager and a software engineer for years. So my project right now for the startup visa is a database software for molecular data. That means chemical molecules for pharmaceutical, chemical, and biology applications. Right now, I'm working on the prototype of the product, and I hope it can be finished soon, and I can start to visit and talk to the clients in Japan, and to find out how this product can penetrate the Japanese market. That's a short introduction to my project, and I would like to talk about the startup visa too. Because I arrived this February. I'm asked by questions like why the startup visa and why you choose Fukuoka. Actually, I know this entrepreneurship.
Chin, I will ask the question later. Why you choose Fukuoka?
Sorry. Yeah.
Wait for the
Okay.
part.
So. Okay, that's the introduction. Okay, thank you for listening, and let's exchange more in the next section. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so Jack, now it's your turn. So would you explain the project you're trying to do in Fukuoka?
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to see you all here. And my project is actually, let's talk about the COVID. Because of the COVID, actually a lot of people, especially people in the West, like in US, in Europe, and they start to shopping online. But before, you know, when you shop online, it's very easy. You click or a product and you receive in 2 or 3 days or next day. It's very easy. But behind this, and there is a long chain from produce the product to supply the product, to ship the product to the Amazon standard, to move the product to the Amazon warehouse. And then the product is FBA, is by Amazon, then delivered to the customer's hand. So it's a very, very long chain. And it's a complicated chain. So during this long process, we are actually, I was doing the traditional international business trade for about 10 years. But because of the COVID and lots of my customers start to selling on Amazon. So they have a problem is to know the price, the shipping price. The shipping price from a China factory to Amazon warehouse, because this is very different from traditional business. Traditional is you ship by big boat, and but now it's becoming small, and it's becoming, the price is calculated by kilos. But because there are many process in this long chain, so for the suppliers, for the Amazon sellers, it's almost impossible for them to get the shipping price very, very fast. And even for an estimate, it's becoming very difficult. So my project is to create an app that for the Amazon sellers, so they can inquire about the shipping price easily by providing some basic information. And I hope I can share my screen successfully. Actually, this is the first time I'm doing this because the Zoom is not very popular here. Let me see, how can I do a screen share? Oh, I think I did it. So let me just go to my, excuse me, wait a minute. I think I need to just go to my website, Private in China. Yes. I'm not sure if you can see it. It takes some seconds to load. Actually, why now we have some problems here with connecting to the internet, especially, oh yeah, it comes here. So here's a very simple one. It's just a very basic one. So you just put here, it's like you put the size of your boxes and like a 40, 50, and a 60. And then you put in a kilos, like so we say 15 kilos. If you have like 10 boxes, and automatically, so we can calculate the costs for ship to different parts of the US. So this is a very basic one. Now we have more calculators, and this is a very basic one, but we're hoping with this program goes, and then we can have some very, very easy to use and easy to use and also pretty precise shipping calculators for Amazon sellers. So that's the beginning. It's a long way, but this is the entry point, and I hope you got my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jack. So actually, Kelvin, Richard, and Tanya and Daniel have business manager visa right now, and Tim has the startup visa, and Jack is waiting for entering to Japan. So he's not yet in Japan, I mean in Fukuoka. So I'm sure you'll get their opinion in each stage of the startup visa procedures. So let's start with the first question. This was the questions most people wanted to ask. And also that
Jack,
Jack, would you stop sharing your screen?
Yes, I'm just trying to see how can I just where should I press for the for the button?
You should go back to Zoom. There is a button on top. Stop sharing.
Stop sharing, pause sharing.
In the application. Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Thank you. So the team was almost answering the question, but how did you know about the startup visa and why did you choose Fukuoka? That's the most question we had. So would you start, Tim, maybe?
Okay. Actually, I know there is an entrepreneurship supporting policy from Japanese government a long time ago. So before I made decision to go abroad, so I do investigation on internet, and by comparing the information from the main cities of Japan, I have the feeling that Fukuoka could be the best because I almost learn many details. So that's how I start this story. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Maybe Tanya?
Okay, so basically I was in Oita for some time, for half year, long time ago in 2008. And then at that time I went to Fukuoka for the first time, and I really like the city. So I think compared to other Japanese cities, I think Fukuoka has like a very good balance. It's not inaka, so it's not a village, but it's also not like too crowded, not as crowded as Tokyo. And this is like the biggest city in Kyushu Island. So it gets like all the international exposure as well, but it still has the affordability. So I really like the city. And it happens that my husband is studying like at Kyushu University. So I was like really happy about that. And I thought that after I knew that there is a startup visa in Fukuoka, I decided to like search further about the scheme of the visa, because initially like I also considered like directly applying with the business manager visa with my existing business in Indonesia. But I think if it's possible to get startup visa first, if you have like a startup business plan, it gives you lots of advantage to start with the startup visa rather than go directly with the business manager visa. One thing is because with the business manager visa, you have to rent a space before you come. So it means like additional renting fee. While with the startup visa, you can come, like you don't even have to create a company first, you don't have to, you only need to care about your own expenses. So it saves a lot. And I think another thing, maybe it's, I mean, maybe it matters for some people, maybe it doesn't, but with the startup visa, you don't have to use immigration lawyer, because yes, they support you with the documents and everything, and you can bring it to the immigration yourself. So it's also a saving, but it's not as easy as it seemed, especially if you don't speak Japanese, because there are still many like documents that you have to, you know, handle. So that's how I end up in Fukuoka.
Thank you, Tali. How about Michelle? Kelvin? You are mute.
Okay. Hi. The reason why we choose Fukuoka, I think most of the points that Tanya already covered. This is a very, very nice place. We visited here a few times before we decided to move to here. I think one thing for us is very, very important is the weather, because the weather here is very nice and very distinguished, 4 seasons, and it's very comfortable, and the environment is very good. People are very nice. So this is the reason why we choose Fukuoka. And we find startup. It's Jessie. It's from Hong Kong, because I had a friend who works for Trade Development Councils that she told us about this startup, and then suggest us to apply that. And because we not just want to do the restaurant things, we want to do the development on the food manufacturing thing. So we kind of thinking it may be a good for us to start with this. So
and
this
also
is
the food ingredients here is a lot good food ingredients for me to develop my packaged food.
Yeah, because in Fukuoka there's a lot of nice local ingredients that's very suitable for our business. So this is the reason. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So how about Daniel?
Yeah. Just like everyone else, I really liked Fukuoka city when I visited. And speaking about how I learned about this program, like sometime before, I studied in Japanese language school in Tokyo, and I researched about how I can start my business in Japan, what I need for it. And I think at that time, one of the Fukuoka startup visa program was kind of initial trial for this Japanese startup program. So that was first time I got idea about Fukuoka. And later I went to Fukuoka by myself. I lived for like 2 weeks in the city, and like it's better to try by yourself before moving here. So I really liked it, and I decided, yeah, that's good, and I should move here. So that's it.
Thank you. I'm glad that you guys like Fukuoka that much.
And
So
also, sorry, also there is one thing about Fukuoka is that especially that's important after COVID or before COVID, that airport, there are a lot of international flights from airport, and the airport location is really, really good. Like you just go to subway, and after 20 or 30 minutes, you're already in airport. So the location of airport is really good. And before COVID, there was a lot of flights to many countries, direct flights. So that was really good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, so the Richard.
Hi. Actually, directly got the information from my business partner because we talked about this doing business in Japan, and he did the research, and he got it the information from his friend from Tokyo. Before that, actually, we traveled to Japan several times. We drove around from city to city, from Osaka. We drove all the way to Niigata. The second time I drove from Kyoto to Tokyo. So all these travel experiences make me fall in love with Japan. This is really beautiful country, and everywhere is beautiful. The modern society is blended in with the natural environment. And also we love the experience with communicating with the local people everywhere. So that's the main reason. Personally speaking, that's the main reason. And also, before we came to Japan, our project had won several prizes back in China, and we also had a client from Japan, and we worked together. We really love the way we do business together, comparing to the other companies in China, because they just do everything in chaos. But in Japan, everything is going in a very orderly way, and everyone is focusing on all the details. That's the way I loved doing things. And also, we compared many different cities before we come to Japan, and we found Fukuoka is the best place, as with all the reasons stated by the previous speakers, the similar reasons. So we immediately decided to come to Japan and come to Fukuoka. And with the help with the startup visa program, we get to know the city a little bit more further before we actually start registering the company, and it was really helpful for us.
Thank you for your comment. So now, Jack, actually you're not here yet, but what was the reason? How did you get to know about the startup visa, and why you chose Fukuoka?
Well, so the first, I would say, this Fukuoka seems is the only city I contacted. It's still working. It's still working properly during the COVID. This impressed me a lot. So you may not believe that 2 weeks ago, I received the first email from another city in another country. So that means when I start to talk to Fukuoka, and we exchanged for about 100 emails, I guess. But for the other city, and 2 weeks ago, I received their first reply. Actually, I contacted them earlier than I contacted Fukuoka. So this, it seems that COVID comes, then people stops. Seems the world is completely stopped, and people reply emails, say, "Oh, we don't work," and they give automatic replies. But when I contact Fukuoka and I reach real person, and so this is I think this is I love working, and I enjoy working, and I think to go to a place that the people are still working, so people are work. So I think that's the reason, and also because of the support and establishing a new business in another country, in another culture. It's something. I don't think it's an easy thing, but with this kind of support, and I feel more comfortable. So eventually, and with the help from actually Akiko, and then I think last week or 2 weeks earlier, and I got the COE finally. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the people and work in Global Startup Center. And thank you very much. And without you, this is impossible. And you gave me hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Okay. So all of you guys like the Fukuoka 3, right? So did you have any what surprised you most when you were actually living in Fukuoka? Did you have anything?
Excuse me, is that a question for me?
Not really.
Maybe I can answer from my side, like what surprised me. I mean, in terms of living and lifestyle, not I was not that surprised, but one thing that I really feel, wow, this like this talk about the discrimination for like to foreigners still happen in Japan is like true. Because like I personally never felt that until I started to find an apartment. So I went to a proper fudosan, like a proper real estate agent, and I also have a guarantor. So I have my Japanese friend in Tokyo. He is my guarantor, and I like we went to see this one apartment, and even the Hosho Gaisha, so the guarantee company already said okay, but the owner said no. The owner said no. Why? So the Fuyo-san also actually the real estate agent asked the owner, why don't you want to rent your apartment? And like he said, just no. So the real estate agent actually told me, and like, oh, let's just not deal with this owner. I mean, I don't like him anyway. So we tried to find other apartment, and it turned out well. I really like the apartment that I'm currently living right now. So that actually quite surprised me. If like that type of, I mean, it's probably 1 out of 100 or probably 1 out of 1,000, but that that is true, like that is real.
Yeah, that should be the something that we like Japanese we don't experience, so maybe we couldn't know. Yeah. So do you have any surprises or no? No, maybe. No, I mean like the other people. Can you unmute?
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I would like to talk my feelings about 4 months living in Fukuoka. I think I have heard that the standard of Japanese service is high, so it means you have good product, good service. And I found out that almost everything I encountered in Fukuoka is high standard services. You can find the rental office, your accommodation, the food, and yeah, everything. So it's a good thing for people like me to start a business. The only thing you need to only worry about is your business, and you can all the other things you can have the best service. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's all for this question. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so maybe the next question is the startup visa coverage period 6 months or 1 year? Is it sufficient, or what do you think? Anyone can ask. I mean, anyone can answer.
Okay, let me say first. As for in our case, it's just the right amount of time. I think we just did everything according to your PPT earlier. You showed us. I think we just get to do that everything in that time table, and we got to be able to register the company right after the end of the startup visa. I think it's just the right amount of time.
I see. What do you think?
Well, I think too that's quite enough time like 6 months is well, for me it was enough.
佢話6個月。
6個月至1年夠唔夠我哋 start up 個？我哋唔同嘅情形，我哋要做呢啲地方。
Like Kelvin, like was it enough for the 6 months or 1?
I think our case is a bit different because instead of just renting an office or something, because we are also looking for a place that's good. It's good for a restaurant. That's why it takes a bit more time, but 6 months to us is just enough. And because last year it was just the start of the COVID, it was also quite difficult at first for us, but we were very lucky that we finally just enough time for 6 months to start up everything with the help of all the startup staffs. Thank you very much. So 6 months is just good enough for us.
I see. So do you agree with it, Tania?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. It's good timing. And I really appreciate that GSC actually remind us regularly that, oh, this is the time for you to do this. So as long as you just as long as you follow them like the guidance, then everything should be fine. I think it's more than enough.
I see. Okay, so this question we got a lot as well. What is the hardest part of starting up or operating accelerate a business in Fukuoka or maybe in Japan?
What's the hardest part for you to
How about Daniel? Did you have any?
Yeah, well, it's maybe not about operating business, but for starting, for me, it was looking for office and also looking for apartment. Like there is for a lot of cases, when you want to rent apartment, especially in Fukuoka, they want a guarantor. And I have Japanese friends, but to be a guarantor is much more like it's a big responsibility. So it was hard to find a friend who will accept this to be as my guarantor, because if my friend accepted, he will have to he will have full responsibility for my rent payments and so on. And also, like just looking for apartment, it takes quite a bit of time. So that part was quite hard for me.
I see. So as same as Tania, like you mentioned about the renting apartment was kind of hard for you. So maybe it's the same, the same experience.
Well, it's not hard. I mean, I cannot say that it's hard. It just happened that like the first apartment I found, the owner was a bit, not too open.
Okay.
But after other than that, it's okay. But I think like having a Japanese guarantor really helps, because I have one, and I cannot I'm. It must be really tough because the limit there, the apartment that you can choose from without a Japanese guarantor is very limited. You can rent the apartment. I don't know. What about like Daniel? How did you end up renting your current apartment? I'm curious.
Well, actually, I was ready to use guarantor, but I didn't use it after all. After all, what helped me is cash on bank account. When I show it like a bank book with I have like this amount of money, it was I think about 7 million yen. So when I showed it, like it was much more smoothly. Like guarantor company said, okay, you're doing business, okay.
I'd like to chime in with this topic if I'm allowed, because I had similar setbacks with this too. But actually, at first we rented a room in a share house, DMW, that's very easy. They accept the foreigners without any 连带后修您. And but after that, when I decided to rent an apartment like that, this one, I finally got this one. But at first, they refused me to rent it. Later, I asked one of my Japanese friend to be my 连带后修您, and she told me very politely that you should not ask your friend to be your 连带后修您, and that means maybe if things not going well, that will be the end of your friendship. So be careful if you decide to ask your friend to do that. So we finally got another way. I used my company to rent this apartment. So the apartment is rented with under the name of our company. Okay, that's another way.
I see. Okay, so maybe for the next question, this was actually from Jack, but how did you overcome the language problem? Or did you
overcome that?
did you have any like language problem living here?
Well, I can answer this for the language because both both me and Kelvin are ground zero for Japanese, and then we are now doing restaurant things that facing Japanese every day. But honestly, because Fukuoka people are, it's just surprisingly very nice, and then they are very willing to speak in English to me, and even they don't speak well English, and then they can use body language or communicate with us, and very nice, and so language surely is a problem that we need to solve, and that's why we are learning it. But I think given the environment and the people are so nice, so it's probably you can overcome that. So be positive.
Or maybe you can use Gengoya or Daniel's app to run Japanese.
Yes, we can consider. Sure, we can consider that.
Actually, there is also someone asked in chat, is speaking fluent Japanese helps, and I think it does helps. Like you can go without Japanese, but if you can speak Japanese, it does helps because just when you want to rent apartment or you want to make some agreement with someone, or you're looking for some services, speaking Japanese does helps a lot, I think.
I see. Okay, so how about like how did you find in your project? Do you need engineers or did you hire anyone? Or maybe Michelle, you hire someone, right? How did you find engineers or employees if you have?
As me?
Mm-hmm.
We actually now have 1 to 2 part-times during the weekend, and we find it through startup, the help of the startup, the program, the Yoshi-san and Ko-san, and they fits us very much because they speak very good English, and then we can communicate very nicely, and then they also very willing to work and help. So the stuff it's basically can be solved by because with the help of the startup cafe. So don't worry about it.
So Richard, do you have any employees in your company, and how did you find them?
Yeah. Now currently we have 3 full-time employees and 3 part-time employees. All of them are we are lucky to came here before the COVID-19. So there were lots of parties, social activities here in Fukuoka. So we communicate with the local people and developers. We got to know lots of developers here in Fukuoka from all over the world, and we got to know more people. Basically, we found all those staffs through our friends here, friends, and friends, like that. Yeah.
I see. See, Tanya, do you have any engineers in your company?
So in my case, I have one part-timer. I found him from my existing network. So it's sort of like probably it's already there. And other than that, like the programmer and everything, it was like originally from Indonesia. So we collaborate with our friends. And in Japan, I think just Richard mentioned earlier, like there are so many like activities in Fukuoka and also in FGN, the co-working space where I am at right now. And I actually met lots of partners. So they're not like I don't employ them, but we sort of like, work together in different projects, and it actually helps a lot, in my opinion.
I see. Thank you. So the next question is, what do you think will be needed to be more attractive for foreign entrepreneurs to start business here in Fukuoka? Do you have any ideas? Right? Or are there anything that you think you need? I mean, like.
I'm not sure how it works right now, but when I came, it worked that you have to came on tourist visa or kind of short trip visa, and in my case, it wasn't so easy to do because of relationships between Russia and Japan, and so my visa was just 30 days, so that was a bit short, but eventually I did everything in time, thanks for the Global Startup Center. But I think this thing about that you had to came with a tourist visa to start the process was a bit difficult.
I see.
So maybe it will be better to, start up with the process even before coming to Japan. But maybe it's already working like this. I'm not sure.
I see. Yeah, the tourist visa is depending on the countries. Like some countries, they have like 180 days, 90 days maybe. So yeah, I think I understand your point. Tina, what do you think? Like, you just came to Fukuoka in February, and what do you think? Yeah.
I would like to say that to speak Japanese is a good for foreign entrepreneur. And as I'm suffering from this problem right now, and I try to speak more Japanese. Yeah, I think it's a good thing if people who had time before they maybe invest more to learn Japanese. Thank you.
I see. Okay, so the next question is, what are the greatest support received from Global Startup Center so far?
Everything. Thank you.
What's the greatest support? What are the greatest support received from
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think basically everything was supported by the GSC from our point of view.
From the beginning.
From the beginning of renting a place, renting a shop,
opening the
location,
company.
and finding the suppliers, and also sort out all the questions about the reasons that the latest month of tax issue, and also the insurance things. I think everything's almost, because we know nothing about the Japanese, how Japanese companies works here. So we almost every single issue we need to ask GSC, and they help us a lot. So they covers everything.
I see. Or how about Tanya?
I think, like personally for me, I like what Danielle mentioned. I also only got like 30 days tourist visa because I'm from Indonesia, and I actually got my like startup visa right on the day when my tourist visa ends. So it was a bit like, oh my god. So I called the immigration, and then Yoshi helped me call the immigration. But well, I think like maybe it's the Japanese way. It always like it somehow ended up. It might be a bit slow at the beginning, but it always ended up well. So maybe I shouldn't have to be that worried at that time. But other than that, I don't know. I mean like I don't have any language barrier, so I'm really thankful of that. But I think from if Fukuoka City wants to support more foreign startups, then probably, I mean, GSC speaks perfect English, but you cannot only like, deal with GSC, right? You still need to go to the, bank, you still need to find your apartment and stuff like that. So if there are like facility for those types, so not only GSC, but also, supporters for that type of activities, that might help. I mean, I won't use that. Like I don't need that, so I might not use that. But I know that many people will, be more than glad to use that type of service, even if like they have to pay for it, maybe.
I see. Okay, so the next question is will be for Tanya. Okay, so next question will be Tanya, Daniel, and Richard, and Calvin. Is like any difficulty you faced when you change from startup visa to business manager visa? Did you have any like a difficulty?
We didn't engage any problem in the progress. It's quite smooth. I just hand in all the supporting documents, and then it goes very smoothly.
I see.
There was no problems in my case, but one thing that a bit surprised me is that when the immigration office asked me for photos of my office, and I was a bit worried about it. But after I sent photos, everything went smoothly. So yeah, everything was okay.
I see.
Me too. It went very smoothly with us too for several years now.
How about Tanya? Did you have any difficulty?
On my side, not really. I mean, it's quite a smooth process. Like there was a bit of like, worries related to because I came like during COVID, right? So I came in March right before COVID got like right before the state of emergency and right before the border got closed. So there was definitely some changes in the business plan and things like that. But in the end, I mean, it ended up well. So not a big problem for me.
I see. Okay. So the next question is, what are the hardest part of adapting to making business in Japan? It's kind of similar to the question that I asked before, but did you have any difficulty for adapting your business in Japan?
Well, for me, it was not really difficulty, but in Russia, there is like easy way to do taxes. So I wasn't used to complex tax systems. And the Japanese tax system was a bit new for me. Not really new, but I never used the system like Japanese tax system. So it was kind of complex for me.
I see. Yeah, for the accounting and for, do you have any other some hardest part of adapting to making business here, or maybe you don't have?
Well, for me was also was office requirement. Like by myself, I am doing many things remotely. So I think this office requirement is a bit old style. Like especially in COVID times, in many times, I don't think you need an office for startup. Like there are a lot of ideas you can go without office. Well, that is my opinion.
Yeah, I see. That's good. Okay, so then another question was like, how was the reaction of your family when you decided to move to Fukuoka for business? Or maybe Jack, like when you told your family that you want to move to Fukuoka for your business, how was their reaction?
They don't understand. So my wife doesn't understand why I need to go there. And then I told them, and I want to go there to work, and that's a place people love to work. And because but that's understandable, because a wife always think differently than a husband. They think more about the family, and but for me, it's I'm focusing on my project. I'm focusing on like 3 or 5 years later, and what I'm doing. So they are surprised, but hopefully I will give them good surprise. Thank you.
See. Tin, how was the reaction of your family? So especially in this time, you entered Japan this February. So how was your reaction?
Yeah, I think for this kind of thing, you have to be determined by yourself at the beginning. So before making this decision, and talk to your family, and it takes time for them to accept. So just be patient to explain to them. Yeah.
I see. Or maybe Richard?
For me, personally, because before I came to Fukuoka, I've been doing business in Beijing for almost 15 years. I'm not, my family are used to, that I'm out there. So it's probably no difference for them. So it's really easy for me to make a decision to come here.
I see. Okay, so we have some questions here on the chat box. Okay, so
okay, let me explain about the fundraising. So we received the many questions about the fundraising in Japan. So to be honest, the fundraising is not easy in the world. It's not only the Japan, because so especially the CIS, because it really depends on the product, because if the product and the services are really attractive, for the investors. So investors are willing to invest your services. So that is not, no matter where the company is located, that is not the point for the fundraising. Okay. And about the, I want to explain about the 5 million. I said that the 5 million is the minimum requirement for the business manager visa, but actually please don't misunderstand. So if you invest the 5 million, you cannot get the business, you cannot not get the business manager visa. So it really depends on the business plan. So how much you plan to your business in Japan, so it's really is different from your business. For example, if you think about your big business, like you need to invest more than 10 millions, and then you can forecast that you can make revenue more than 200 millions. So this kind of business is really big, really huge. Of course, that in that case, the 5 million is not enough to invest. So please don't misunderstand.
So the 5 million yen is the minimum, and it's totally depending on your business, right?
And then also I want to talk about the startup visa. So the period of startup visa is not for the fundraising. So the period of startup visa is for preparing for the requirement to the renewal the business manager visa. So please don't misunderstand this point.
Yeah, and also we got some questions for the subsidy or loan or funding. Maybe you can check up startup package of the Fukuoka City so that there are some information. Of course, we can send you the information later with email. So if you want the information, please send us the comment in the chat box. So we will send it the personally via email. And also, I got a question for the Calvin. Was it difficult to apply for the little one permit, for example, restaurant? Or there was help from Startup Fukuoka? So did you have any difficulty to get the permit for the restaurant? Michelle, you're on mute.
You need to have certain qualifications such as the hygiene manager and certificates that you need to get. And also because we had experience of doing food business before, so it's probably we are easier to engage with that. So and also for your because starting this restaurant is only one of the steps for our projects. This is not the ultimate goal. So eventually we want to step into the packaged food manufacturing things. So if you're just asking for opening a restaurant, maybe that's not the startup visas things, but look, just asking for the permits that you need to have the hygiene certificates to open a restaurant. So.
So we got another question. Is there any list of critical sector industry in Fukuoka that is in high demand? What do you think?
My answer, the answer is actually we are looking for the fintech companies because last years Fukuoka City is selected by the international financial centers, the candidate of the international finance centers in Japan. So the other candidate cities are Tokyo and Osaka, and then only Fukuoka is also the candidate cities for becoming the international finance centers. So now we are focusing on the fintech companies.
Yeah, I'll add a couple of comments. And the definition of the fintech is quite wide. Yeah. So for example, now the fintech is well connected to the green tech, the clean tech. And Fukuoka and Kyushu are very active for this kind of technology in products as well. That's why just open your mind and sort of just think about sort of fintech related businesses. Yeah. So this is one of the new thing. But of course, for the rest of any business is welcome to us. Okay, we never say no. Actually, there was some exception in the past, but we never say no.
Okay, so another question, is there any tax incentive or tax exemption for startup business in Fukuoka? Actually, we have, so you can get that information from startup package of Fukuoka City. And yeah, I can send you that link as well later. And
But I think Fukuoka City is not the baseline in Japan. Okay, so that's what you had opportunity to get any subsidy. But if you really care the amount of the subsidy and the possibility of getting subsidy, I would say that Fukuoka is quite good, but not the best one.
so another question is, will this session share online via any channel afterwards? We will share it with YouTube later, so please check them. Okay, so so it's almost time. Okay, so it's almost time. So we would like to move on the final section. It's the tips from the startup visa holders to those who are interested in starting the business in Fukuoka. So it will be Tadia, can you start your advice to those who are willing to start a business in Japan or in Fukuoka?
Well, from me, I think advice. It's good to prepare before you come. I mean, if you're not speaking the language yet, I think it's good to at least try to understand like daily conversation. You don't have to, be like extra fluent in speaking the language, but being able to speak basic Japanese helps. It reduces your stress when you arrive. And if you can, I mean, now because of COVID, everyone is connected online, right? Like more people are coming together online. There are lots of online meetups. And I think it would be great if you can just spend time to network first. So when you come, you can already, meet people who will, who can actually support you in doing business here, or also for moral and friends, like personal support.
Thank you. The Kelvin and Michelle?
Right.
I think for the advice is just keep yourself very prepared all the time, and especially I think given to this COVID environment, so you cannot plan, you cannot get everything planned. So get yourself very prepared, and also be flexible and be versatile, because you always engage different problems, especially just like us, we don't speak Japanese, but you need to very willing to adapt the life and also the environment here. So I think this is the advice.
Thank you. So how about Daniel?
Well, I think my advice will be is go for it. I mean, if you have money, if you have a good idea, just go to Fukuoka and try your idea, because you live only once. So I think it's a good idea to go for it.
Thank you. Tin, how would your tips for the
my tips would be like Daniel, just go for it, because to create a new company, we have to face a lot of uncertainties. So it's common. So just go for it. And maybe my second advice is to learn as much as more Japanese before you come. I know everybody is busy, especially for those who want to create a company. But yeah, we have to spend part of our time to the language. That's my feeling. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So Richard, how's your tip?
It's really difficult for me now because everyone already said everything I wanted to say. Be prepared and be flexible and just do it. And also, I was thinking about, because we mentioned that renting an apartment here is kind of a little bit difficult for foreigners, but at the time when we came to Fukuoka, we rent a room in a share house. But it's not good advice in this time period, but actually it helped us very well, because in that environment, lots of people from different areas, they are doing business, doing startup, and also probably those are lots of freelancers. You can get to know lots of people and resources. So, but it's probably not for this time period, but if the pandemic is over, come here and choose a share house to live in at first is really good step. Yeah.
Thank you. So Jack, actually you're not here yet, but if you have any tips for those who are thinking to applying for the startup visa, to give us the comment for them.
Excuse me, can you repeat?
Now you are not yet in Japan, but if you have any tips or comment or advice for those who are willing to apply for the startup visa, do you have any advice for them?
Oh, I would just say them to contact Akiko.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
That's
yeah.
the beginning.
Great.
That will kick the ball. Will roll.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm looking forward to receiving so many emails from today. Okay, thank you so much everyone for participation today. So we'll send after this event, we'll send you the questionnaire. So please give us some minutes to answer them to improve our online event. And we have so many questions that we couldn't answer. So we will answer you on the email. So if you have any questions, please write them down in the questionnaire so we'll be very sure to answer you later. Okay, so thank you so much for your time today, and I hope to see you soon in the next event. Thank you so much.